Yes.
Yeah, Carl Glass from Glass House Presents. Beverly, I want to ask you a question. You've worked with George Reeves in 2 different genres. And I would like for you to share your impressions of George Reeves the first time you saw him in the suit, and then when you worked with him in the Ford theater presentation, Heart of Gold. Can you share your thoughts on that?
Well, when I did Superman in the Mole Man, have any of you seen Superman in the Mole Man? Well, I was the little girl, you know, with the mole man climbing through the window, and we'd play ball. So for me, because I was only 8 years old at the time, the name George Reeves meant nothing to me, but Superman meant everything. So we didn't have a scene together, but he was on the set with his, you know, Superman outfit, and I was just so thrilled to see Superman on the set. And it wasn't until, you know, years later when I became an adult that I thought, wow, I got to work with George Reeves and meet him, and how cool is that? But when you're little, you have a completely different concept of, you know, Superman meant more to me than George Reeves. And then about a year later, I was cast in a TV show called Heart of Gold, and George Reeves was the father, Anita Louise was the mother, and then Tommy Reddick, who later was in Lassie, and I were the children. And in it, in fact, I have some pictures from it where George Reeves puts this gold heart locket around my neck, and then my brother Tommy and I go out and we put this in the snowman, and the snowman was played by Edmund Gwen. And they had him all dressed up like a snowman, but it was actually made out of cotton. And in the story, I take my locket off and put it in the snowman, and it comes to life. But because I was so young, it was very confusing to me, because I didn't realize that he had been Superman. Because when I saw him, he was in his, you know, his Superman costume. So somebody had mentioned that he was Superman, and it was very confusing to me, because now Superman's my dad. And so, you know, being 8, I couldn't quite grasp that. And so I asked my mother, and I guess she didn't want to burst my bubble. So she just told me that he was play acting, that he was Superman, but he was play acting as my daddy in this TV show. And I bought it. So not too bright, I guess. So that was fun.
Yes.
My question was for Phil. My name is Neill with SupermanSupersite.com. Your character of Jackie on Seinfeld is a very memorable role. I was just curious how you prepared for that role and what it was like to actually work on the TV series.
Well, I mean, the call came out that they wanted somebody to come in and approximate what Johnny Cochran had been doing in the OJ trial. And we had all been inundated with this man for, you know, a year, watching him every day on television. Not only that, but I went to the same barber as Johnny Cochran. So I'd known Johnny Cochran. Mr. Cochran's passed away, but I'd known him from when I was 8 years old, you know, or 9 years old. So I saw him come in and pontificate in the barbershop on all manner of issues. So I had extensively kind of like osmotically gotten his rhythms. And then, you know, I mean, I peppered Jackie with a little bit of, you know, street corner preacher and a little hustler from the streets. And I mean, he wasn't a straight Johnny Cochran imitation by any means. I mean, he kind of had that form, but his inner working was more like a hustler. And so that's, and all those little, whoa, you don't say it, cool, all that stuff. I just, it wasn't in the script. I just remember Johnny Cochran, that was those were his handles. So as I kind of tried to put this character together, those things came to me, you know, and in the research that we do, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the bits of information that spur you on to active action. Because you can over-research stuff and it will bog you down. But so many of the things that I'd seen, the whole year was active. I mean, this was a force of nature, Johnny Cochran. So it was kind of an honor to play him, and at first he was very much appreciative of it, and actually had to sign away, you know, kind of his likeness and all that to the Seinfeld people. And then around the 6th episode that I did, and then these Honda commercials that I did, and Diet Dr. Pepper campaign that I did, I got a letter from his office. In effect, telling me to cease and desist. But it was, you know, the cat was out of the bag by then. Couldn't hold Jackie back. So. Yes, please.
Alex Rinaldi from USA Fox News. Noel, let me ask you one thing. When George Reeves appeared on the I Love Lucy show. Did you ever talk to him about that show? And what was it like seeing him on that show? Considering that was the #1 show in America at the time.
Oh, what's her name? Who owned the studio and everything in it. I didn't feel sorry for anyone. No, I don't know, everybody's life kind of stayed alone or whatever, and we just said, oh, he's doing something extra, well, that's good for him, and that was it.
Did George Reeves ever talk about that? Okay.
No, we never thought that we were shooting too fast to talk about anything, but no, he was pretty quiet, and at the end of the scene, he would just go to his room, and Jack and I would kind of look at each other and run through a few lines or two, and so I don't know what he thought about that. I hope he got paid for it. So we lost all our residual. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hey, Justin, now that you're in the opening credits and everything, you're going to be around for a little while. Are you interested in getting more involved in the creative process? I mean, other cast members have gone on to direct episodes and things like that. You got anything like that in the hopper?
Yeah, I'm interested in that, yeah. You know, I really am. I'd like to direct, you know, an episode or two, and I'm interested in writing. I like writing, so, you know, definitely stuff like that interests me. But that's not, I mean, that's for other people to decide, so.
Well, I mean, are you interested in becoming a hyphenate and kind of doing the
Very,
director?
Yeah, very much, very much. And, you know, I mean, I think that's kind of, when I started acting, I thought, I can't understand why anybody would ever want to be a director. I mean, you know, the camera's never on you, and it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even understand what they're doing. And then, you know, you see their name. I don't know what any of these directors look like. Why would you want to be a director? Nobody knows who you are. And then you grow up and you go, ah, that's like the natural progression. I mean, you really do start to say, don't you think it's just kind of a natural way of thinking? You start to, your brain starts to work a certain way and maybe changes a little bit. And, I mean, my love is acting, and probably always will be. But yeah, now I can start to see things a certain way, and you start to, well, how would I shoot that, or you know, just stuff like that, playing around in your head. But I'm definitely interested in it. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Yes, please.
Actually, this question was for you, Justin, but
Okay.
now Phil's just a funny guy also. So.
Yeah, and he's better than me.
Well, a couple years ago when Michael Rosenbaum was actually on Smallville, he talked about all the pranks and he did everything on show and, you know, caused a lot of trouble with people. Do you two cause any trouble on the set?
Never.
Pranks, anything? Like, what's one of the wildest things you've ever done on the set? Prank-wise?
I'm not around enough to be that big a prankster, you know, I'd still get in trouble, you know.
Nothing?
You know, imagine Phil, you come in for one episode and everyone is like, he just messed everyone up. He's like a ninja.
Why is the dressing room on fire? I know he's thinking it's funny.
Justin's bloody. I don't know. Phil's laughing.
Can't shoot tomorrow.
Can't find Tom. Yeah.
No, it's just, see, this is why they don't put us in scenes together, it's that thing. If I was there more, yeah, I feel more comfortable. To prank somebody, you have to be a part of their family. You know what I mean? You got to be a part of that infrastructure and that fabric, and then they take it with a good, you know, a good grain of salt and all that. But I'm not there enough to be able to, you know, clown them and then cut out.
I mean, some of Justin's web stuff is hilarious.
My web stuff? My webisode stuff?
Yes, your website.
Brawn and Glamour?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brawn and Glamour.
love that.
I love it too. We have more of them. I've got to release. It's a tricky thing, the web thing. It's difficult. It's kind of more of a fun thing for me now.
Keep them coming.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll try.
We're going to work on those pranks next time.
Yeah, please.
And we will.
All right.
I'm gonna prank myself. Figure that out.
You never fooled me.
That's right.
Figure it out.
Look what I did. Funny to myself. Messed me up, man.